Introduction: The Invisible Rules of Relationship Dynamics. Welcome to a deep dive into the underlying psychological dynamics that govern attraction and relationship investment. Many approach relationships assuming that stability and comfort are the primary drivers of desire, but the reality is more nuanced. This script explores 9 specific psychological weaknesses, or more accurately, deep-seated emotional needs and reactions that, when understood, can fundamentally shift how you navigate romantic connections. The goal is not manipulation, but mastery of self-presentation and emotional intelligence. By recognizing what truly drives emotional investment, you can stop blindly chasing attention and start embodying a presence that naturally commands desire and respect. Let's uncover the patterns you may have failed to see, which govern why some relationships deepen and others dissolve. 9 psychological drivers of attraction and investment.
1.
The power of emotional contrast and depth. The video asserts that women are not drawn to constant stability, but to emotional depth and contrast. Deep explanation. This principle taps into the human need for variability and arousal. A relationship that offers only constant, predictable comfort can lead to emotional numbness, a phenomenon sometimes described as hedonic adaptation. True emotional investment often comes from a spectrum of experiences: tension, curiosity, and relief. Application: If you are always accessible, agreeable, and predictable, you become background noise. The man who is confident enough to pull back when necessary, setting boundaries, focusing on his purpose, and pull close with genuine warmth creates an emotional rhythm. This push-pull generates tension and curiosity, which leads to rumination. She thinks about you, stalks your profile, and rereads your messages, which is the definition of emotional investment. Deep explanation. In the age of social media, women receive constant superficial validation, likes, generic compliments. This is abundant and therefore low value. What is truly craved is high value, selective validation, a sign of respect from a man who has demonstrated standards, discipline, and success. Application: Your approval should be earned, not given. When you are selective in your praise, your words carry weight. Acknowledging her unique ambition, her difficult choices, or a subtle trait others miss, makes her feel truly seen and chosen. The less you chase her approval, the more she pursues yours. 3. The instinctive fear of replacement. The core instinct here is that people are motivated to feel irreplaceable to their partner. Deep explanation. While fear of replacement or relational devaluation can be unhealthy if excessive, a low level of uncertainty or competition is a powerful psychological driver. The video notes that scarcity creates desire, abundance creates obsession. When a man acts as if he has standards, options, and a life that doesn't revolve around her, he subtly signals that she is the prize, but she must still meet a standard to keep him. Application: Do not make her the sole focus of your life. Cultivate a fulfilling life purpose, hobbies, and a strong social circle. This communicates that your value is high and non-negotiable. When she perceives you are a man other women respect or desire, it triggers a subtle, evolutionary mechanism to secure that resource.
4.
Attraction to masculine emotional control. The claim is that women want a man who is strong enough to feel, but not ruled by his feelings. He must maintain frame. Deep explanation. This is the concept of emotional reliability. When a man encounters conflict, stress, or emotional chaos, like a partner's tantrum or an external crisis, a man who loses his temper, panics, or becomes defensive is perceived as unsafe. The woman wants a partner who acts as her bedrock, a calm, composed center in the storm. Application: Focus on frame control. Frame is your perception of reality. When she becomes emotional, you must regulate your own state first. Don't yell or argue defensively. Stay calm, assertive, and address the issue only after the storm passes. This combination of strength, not losing control, and presence, not abandoning her, simultaneously challenges her while making her feel secure.
5.
Investment in the fantasy-driven narrative. Women are attracted to the story, the potential, and the life a man represents, rather than just his current status. Deep explanation. Attraction is often an act of projection, an emotional investment in an idealized future. People fall for the role a person plays in their life's narrative. This is why a man with a compelling vision, purpose, or travel story can be more attractive than a wealthy but boring man. The compelling narrative triggers an emotional pre-commitment. Application. You must present a compelling narrative of your life. Talk about your ambitious projects, your upcoming travels, your purpose, and your passion. Invite her into the story of your life. When she can picture herself as a key character in your exciting future, the travel partner, the confidant, the muse, she invests emotionally before she even realizes it. You don't need perfect looks. You need a perfect narrative. 6. The hunger for confident leadership. Attraction is often linked to the ability to make confident decisions and provide certain direction. Deep explanation. This is not about forced dominance, but about the highly attractive quality of certainty. Indecisiveness creates anxiety. Confident direction creates a feeling of relief and safety. A high-value leader in a relationship is a man who knows what he wants, makes plans, and takes responsibility for the outcome. Application. Lead the interaction. Suggest the date, make the reservation, have an opinion on where to go, and be the one to escalate the connection. The video suggests most men wait for women to choose. High-value men choose first. This demonstrates that you are a man with a clear path and are simply inviting her to join it.
7.
The instinctive competition drive. The sight of other women being interested in you can shift her perception of your value. Deep explanation. This taps into the psychological principle of social proof. If a desirable resource is being sought by other women, your value is automatically deemed higher. This is a common mechanism in intersexual competition, a woman's instinct to secure a high-quality mate. Application. You do not need to flaunt or manipulate, but simply be a man who is socially comfortable and desired. This happens naturally when you embody the first 6 points. When she sees genuine interest from others, it creates a subtle spark of jealousy that pushes her to invest more effort into securing your attention and affection.
8.
The tension created by masculine silence. Controlled, intentional silence can be more powerful than constant compliments. Deep explanation. Silence generates tension, anticipation, and curiosity. When a man she likes is silent, not unresponsive, but measured, her mind fills the void. She spirals, reanalyzes, and invests mental energy trying to understand your meaning. This increased mental effort leads to greater emotional attachment. Application. Be intentional with your communication. Don't feel the need to fill every silence or respond instantly. Controlled silence after a joke, a thoughtful statement, or during a moment of intimacy conveys a sense of confidence, self-possession, and depth. It signals that you are not desperate for her approval and are comfortable in your own space. The hook of unsolvable mystery. The final, deepest desire is for a man who is unsolvable. He keeps a piece of himself hidden. Deep explanation. This is the ultimate form of long-term attraction, discovery, and investment. When a man reveals all his flaws, weaknesses, and history too quickly, the relationship can feel solved. A man with genuine depth, a strong purpose, inner battles he tackles alone, and goals that exist outside the relationship, forces the woman to keep investing to discover the next layer. This continued investment solidifies attachment. Application. Maintain a sense of personal sovereignty and purpose. Your life cannot be an open book. You must have a private world of thoughts, ambitions, and work that she can respect but never fully possess. Mystery forces her to invest, and investment forces attachment. Conclusion. Mastery of self is mastery of attraction. The essence of this script is not about manipulating women, but about understanding the universal psychological laws that govern human connection and emotional investment. By mastering these 9 principles, you are essentially mastering your own self-control, discipline, and purpose. You learn to regulate your availability, emotional contrast. You learn to be selective with your praise, validation. You learn to prioritize your purpose, fear of replacement. You learn to control your emotional state, emotional control. You learn to communicate your vision, fantasy narrative. You learn to make confident decisions, leadership. You learn to cultivate social value, competition drive. You learn to be comfortable with silence, masculine silence. You learn to maintain personal depth, unsolvable mystery. The man who embodies these traits does not need to chase. He becomes the choice, not because he is perfect, but because he understands himself and the deepest drivers of human attraction better than most.